from the station that's on your side. This is Channel 7 News at 10.
Well, good Thursday evening to you. We begin tonight at the state capitol, where lawmakers have recessed and adjourned the 2024 fiscal session ahead of its final meeting 1 week from today. For 3 weeks now, they have been at the Capitol crafting the state's budget for the upcoming fiscal year. This year, though, some non-budgetary bills took center stage at the session. Two of the most closely watched addressed the spread of cryptomines in our state. They created a framework to regulate the industry through the Arkansas Department of Energy and Environment. Another bill to provide a raise to state employees was also passed.
I don't see it as being an issue that there were 3 items that had significant support on both ends that were allowed to be introduced. I think that we've done that on one other occasion related to employee benefit legislation. I think it was 2 years ago. And so I think that we've been very consistent with how we've handled things in the past, and I'm pleased with the fact that we were able to stay on track and really stay focused on the fiscal issues. But at the same time, we were able to address issues that, as you could see by the vote totals, ended up having pretty strong support.
And the next stop for all 3 of those bills is the governor's desk. Still, there is some unfinished business for lawmakers. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley takes a closer look at that and the politics behind it tonight. Andrew.
The unfinished business, no funds have yet been allocated for the Game and Fish Commission's budget next year. Though the Senate passed the commission's appropriations bill yesterday, lawmakers in the House voted it down today. Many opposed to an amendment to the bill to give the director of the Game and Fish Commission a roughly $40,000 raise.
Back in general session, they really tried to raise it to $250,000. So this is just the beginning of it, in my opinion. The other part of it is this ability to raise them to $190,000 is going to put them higher than 9 current secretaries. Some of those secretaries are the Secretary of Agriculture, who's been with the state for 10 years. The Department of Corrections Secretary.
The Game and Fish Commission, on the other hand, says its director is paid significantly less than almost all other agency heads in the state. The commission argues that Arkansas pays less to its Game and Fish director than any of its neighboring states, making a pay raise a necessity to keep the position competitive. Regardless, some lawmakers say the amendment to raise the Game and Fish director's salary was inappropriately added at the last minute.
My greatest heartburn comes from the way that it was attached and the way that it was done. We're here on the last day of session, in the morning, the last appropriation bill. This amendment could have been addressed earlier on in the session. People's holds could have been released. The proper way to do things is not to sneak an amendment onto an appropriation at the last minute and act like D.C. And unfortunately, that's what we've done.
Now that the Game and Fish Commission's appropriations bill has been shot down by the House, there are questions about its continued operations.
We will have a Game and Fish Commission. We're not going to go into fishing and hunting season where people can't get their license. They can't get their hunting things. We're going to close public lands. We're not going to do all that. So let's not act like we're going to abolish the Game and Fish Commission. We're not going to do that.
The House may have to reconvene next week to hammer out the Game and Fish appropriations bill. If it fails to do so before the fiscal session officially ends next Thursday, a special session will have to be called.
If we pass it as is, then that can move forward and the appropriation will be in place, and that will allow operations to continue. If for some reason it doesn't pass, or we run out of, or there's not enough time, then that means there's no appropriation as to July 1st, so there's no spending authority for Game and Fish at that point. We're still a ways away from that point.
As of now, no plans to reconvene the session next week have been made public. On your side, I'm Andrew Mobley.
Okay, Andrew, thanks very much. In a statement to KATV, the director of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, Austin Booth, said that Game and Fish is committed to working with the General Assembly to pass the spending authority needed to continue to preserve Arkansas's rich natural resources and provide the outdoor recreation opportunities that Arkansans deserve and expect.